Welcome to your syllabus for Bio 139 Human Anatomy, hybrid lecture online, 7 a.m. to 11 o'clock lab in East 229 at the San Ramon campus of Diablo Valley College. I used to spend an hour going over the syllabus, but there's other things I need to do the first day. And we have an orientation module where I cover some of this stuff anyways. So I thought I would leave it for you to read. It is in its entirety below, and cover some of the main points for you. Page 1. Besides the important information up here, we have this nice box. Our learning management system is called Canvas. You click on this, it goes there, and it is going to have where your lectures are and where you upload labs, where you upload lab follow-ups. Basically, you upload everything there and you get the online portion of the content there. Now, I have a website. This is not accessible. I'm a bad person. If you click on it, it takes you to an outside website. I'll talk about it in the studying for lab exam section of the orientation module, but basically it has all the models and all the histology for our class on a website. So you will want to bookmark this in your studying. And again, I will talk about it more in the lab exam portion of the module. Now, this is my information. That is my email address. Under communication, I tell you, you can email me through Canvas too. This is the one I check 20 times a day. I typically respond within 24 hours on a weekday. If it's over a weekend, expect a response Monday morning. I want to add one more thing. If you don't get a response after 10 o'clock on Monday morning or the next day, please speak to me in class. Sometimes I think Outlook hates me and it eats my emails. I also want to add, if I don't respond in the 24 hours on a weekday or by 9:30 on Monday morning, please talk to me in class. I have a theory Outlook hates me and it eats my emails. There's also the good theory that I get about 60 emails a day and yours might get lost in the shuffle. And I would rather answer your emails than the other 59 I get telling me what meetings I have that week. Now, I also have student contact and conference hours. For our online class, we have 3 hours and 5 minutes of lab 2 days a week. That's a great time to ask me questions. If you don't ask me questions, I actually start cleaning the room. I also have set aside hours for you to talk to me. We can do it alone if you want, or since I do it in the lab room in front of people. They're Monday, Wednesday, 8 to 9:30, Tuesday, Thursday morning in your classroom, right, a half hour before class, and then in the evening, a half hour on Zoom or by appointment. These are hours where I'm expected to help students. I have nothing else planned during these times. So if you don't come and ask me questions, I'll resort to cleaning the lab room again, probably. So please come, ask me questions, talk to me. And you guys, since you're Tuesday, Thursday, can actually tell me and I'll Zoom on this time too. But please visit my contact hours. I am there for you. So I have about 12 minutes to cover the rest of this. Now these are all actually hot links. You click on it, it takes you there. So if you forget something, you can go back and look if you need to, and I am going to cover the highlights for you. Course description and student learning objectives. This is what we have in the class outline. And if you ever get asked by a school you're applying to for the syllabus, this is what they are looking for, these two things. Our COVID policy. Underlined, highlight, do not come to class if you have symptoms, feel sick, or were possibly exposed. I taught online anatomy for 2 years. I have makeup assignments. You need to be vaccinated or apply for a waiver. Wouldn't be able to sign up otherwise. County guidelines or masks are optional. That came out yesterday, the day before I'm making this video, a week before class starts. However, I strongly encourage you to wear them. It stops transmission to other people in case you are exposed and are asymptomatic, and it protects you more in case somebody is exposed and not wearing masks. I had a few students exposed in both of my classes last semester, but there was no in-class transmission. That means They came, they didn't know they were positive. They tested the next day, they were positive. Nobody in my class caught it from them because we are all wearing masks. So please wear masks. Try to social distance. If you are symptomatic or have a positive test, tell me via email. This is actually a very important requirement. I need to tell the dean. Wipe down things before using. We are uploading everything to mitigate exposure as well. And this is the up-to-date web page. Format, I have elsewhere in the orientation module more detail about the format. This is a lecture and lab class. The lecture is all online asynchronous. There's Canvas, a bone I find humorous. Right here, big blue button. I can actually make it bigger or smaller by going like this. That takes you to this week's module and lecture 1, lecture 2. And again, in the orientation module, ta-da, I talk a lot more about it. Lab is a face-to-face lab. We have 2 labs for 3 hours and 5 minutes. Don't come to class if you're sick. I go over things the first 40 minutes. I try to see what you have questions on. They are due that night at midnight. So, you're expected to stay. Please read the material ahead of time. So, lab book and lecture book. The lecture book is Human Anatomy on LibreText. This is the old version. I'm on a project where we're making a new version of it. I don't think it's going live by next week, but the new version might actually be uploaded by the end of the semester. The lab book is one that I wrote. One of the pages is going to be supplies. I'll have a link to the lecture book. It will have my lab book here for upload. And it tells you the other 2 things, disposable gloves. And these should be ones that are actually medical grade that formaldehyde does not go through. So like nitrile gloves and 4 100 question scantrons. So this is where you find the lab book. Now, since the gloves come in a 100 pack, you might want to split with your tables. We're not using them every single day. Evaluations. There will be 4 lecture exams and 3 lecture quizzes. They are worth 45% of your grade, and I explain these in more detail on another video. Basically, they're done in class. They're study guides on Canvas. It's a sliding scale, top score is 100%, and you may only miss it. Sports team, club activity, death in the family, medical emergency, which includes being positive for COVID. And I'm happy to say that did not come up at all last semester. 3 quizzes done on Canvas. They are due 1 week after the lecture on it. Open note but timed, and the study guides are on Canvas. There's 4 lab exams. Again, there's a page that talks a lot about the 4 lab exams. They're a quarter of your grade, 50 questions plus 4 extra credit. It's questions saying, what is this model? What is this structure on this model? What is this histology slide? I will explain what that is the first day of class. Fill in the blank without a word bank, but people actually really do good on it. So don't panic. Spelling counts. If you only once or twice forget a letter or reverse letters, I won't notice. If it's in every single one, I will notice. And most models are on my website. Lab checkouts. This is basically your attendance grade. Questions that are done at the end of class. And I do them because I want to know if you understood something or not. So on the first lab, when we used to have all face-to-face lecture and lab, I would have students line up and ask them the histology slides. And I found out which ones I taught and which ones I didn't. So we'll do this uploading something, sometimes alone, sometimes in groups. But it's to see, did you understand it? And lets me keep track, were you there or not? Labs are 15% of your grade. I have makeups for every single lab, basically completing the exercises and uploading it. I may ask you to take pictures or upload something. I have instructions on the orientation. You get 4 makeups for missed labs and 5 perfect, 4 good, 3, 2, 1. And lastly, lecture follow-up. If you look at the Labbook, there's all these matching questions in it. And what I did, because this is an online class or a partially online class, is for lecture, instead of having people do that in lab, I'm having you do it after lecture. So basically these lecture follow-ups are the multiple choice or matching questions from the Labbook and to see, did you understand it or not? Now I let you take it as many times as possible. I'm sort of have mixed feelings about that because when you get 100%, I don't know what you got wrong. So you have to ask me questions about it. If I give you only one chance at it, I'll know what you did wrong. I have 4 minutes left. Grades 90 to 100A, 80 to 89B, C, D. Attendance, you are expected to come. You are expected to stay the whole time. You may miss due to sickness. Do not come sick. Do not come symptomatic. They can be arranged. If you miss 4 more classes, you may be dropped. Isolation, quarantining does not count towards this. Lectures are asynchronous. I have suggested start dates. The follow-up is due the next day, to actually do Wednesdays or Sundays. Please do not get behind. These are study tips. Students who follow under ADA, you need to let me know. You need to get me the form a week before, basically 72 hours before. I have to get other things done with it. So academic honesty, don't cheat, don't tamper, don't fabricate, don't plagiarize. This includes turning in somebody else's lab as your own. Class rules, everyone with respect. No cell phones during tests. Don't eat in the laboratory. It's a deadly toxin that's used as a preserving agent. You need to clean up after yourselves. Everyone is responsible for lab general cleanup. Don't talk during exams. Respect the cadavers. I'm going to go over this when we get to them. If something is not clear, please ask. So again, student contact hours. I have 4 face-to-face plus 2 online. Come and talk to me if you're having problems. Photographs, you may not take pictures of the cadavers or human organs. Everything else is fair game. We have a tutoring center. This is our general disclaimer. I may change things, not very likely. And then this is our schedule. Again, unless I'm sick, I'm not changing things. So that is your quick 14-minute tour of the syllabus. I get 15 minutes in this video. If you please read the whole thing slowly. Again, these are all hot linked, so it goes to it. And let me know if you have any questions. Thank you.